Clarity on Fire, a podcast for people who know what they don't want out of their life and career, but aren't sure what they'd rather be doing.
In a world where it's easy to exist, but hard to feel alive, we, Kristen
and Rachel,
2 certified life and career coaches, are here to help you cut through the information overload, get unstuck, and focus not just on how you can have a career you're passionate about, but how to create a whole life that feels fulfilling.
So join us here, where we serve up inspiration and down-to-earth wisdom in a way that only 2 best friends can.
We want you to experience the relief of knowing that, yes, you're allowed to want more out of your life and career.
And no, you don't have to wander through the dark anymore. Our job is to light the fire that shows you the way. Let's go.
Today's a big day.
Yeah, it's finally here.
You've been hearing us talk about this people-pleasing course for weeks now.
Oh my God.
And today is the first day when you can actually sign up.
Yeah, well, technically it's been open for a day for everyone who's already on the VIP list, but
that was
if
only
you weren't
a
on the VIP
special
list,
thing
then
for our VIPs.
You missed out, which you're not really missing out. There's still plenty of time. But before we get into details, I wanted to read an email we got after our episode, not last Friday, but the Friday before.
The roundtable episode about people-pleasing.
Which was so good. You need to go listen to that if you
With
haven't
our best
listened to
friends,
Joanna and Stacy. So we got an email from Marina, who was a normal person that I interviewed back in January. We did an episode called Conscious Breakups and Brave Conversations. So if you want to scroll back to January 2019 and listen to that, you can. That was a really fun conversation. But she wanted to share a perspective that I thought was so interesting and not something Kristen and I can speak to. So I want to just read her email to you guys. My people-pleasing behavior is deeply rooted in the expectations of women in both cultures I was raised in, Mexican and Armenian. The ideal Mexican daughter is always helping abuela in the kitchen, always serving everyone before herself, catering to the needs of others. Kristen's story about her grandma leaping over to pass the salt made me laugh out loud. That is exactly the vibe. On the Armenian side, it was even more pronounced. My grandmother never sat with us at the table. And in fact, I have almost no memories of her ever sitting to enjoy family time, period. These expectations are deeply coded in all patriarchal societies, but I definitely feel an extra layer of it being selfish and too independent is also considered a negative trait or a sign that you're becoming too American and forsaking your cultural roots. At least that's been my experience, and I have some other first-gen friends that relate. For what it's worth, I really see this work to transform people-pleasing as a practice of radical liberation from all kinds of social norms and structures that oppress humans. I think every culture has a group of people it rewards for people-pleasing, and I love hearing you guys blow the lid off the myths around it.
I think that is such a powerful point because every people pleaser I know already has a lot of guilt around letting it go because they're afraid they're going to disappoint people. But if you add in the cultural element too and feeling like you're going to disappoint not just your family, but your entire culture, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
And then you don't know where to draw the line often between, well, what should I let go of and what should I keep?
Right.
And that must be really challenging too. And I've definitely, I mean, obviously I don't have personal experience with that, but we've coached people who have parents who were immigrants in their first generation. And I absolutely have seen them struggle with that pattern too, and not really knowing how to manage it. And so I'm
what
really
do I
glad...
keep that's serving me and what can I let go of that's not serving me, that I actually want to break that pattern?
Yeah.
That's hard.
Marina, thank you so much for sharing that. She also said that last year for her birthday, her best friend got both of them a copy of The Disease to Please, the book. And her gift was that they would work through it together. And she said they both got like a teeny bit into the book, got so triggered, and then stopped. So this year, she said, we're going to take your course together, me and 2 of my friends. And Marina is so evolved. She's so smart. I love her so much. And even she was like, I might not consider myself a people pleaser anymore, but I need all the recovery tools I can, because she knows it's just easy to slip back into those patterns. If you take your hand off the wheel, again, it's just going to veer right back into your old default pattern.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I co-created this course and I fully intend to go through it with the group because I could use a maintenance tune-up too. This is not just for very active people pleasers. This is for recovering people pleasers and anyone in between.
Yes. So, okay. Let's give you a few details.
Marina's idea to do it with her friends, too, because we're going to have accountability in the group, of course. Yeah. But if you can have even more accountability in your friend group, that's going to make sure that you really do the stuff. That's really cool.
So let me give you a few details about the course. Obviously, you can go to the episode description and read a little bit more. You can click the link to the page on our site and you can get more details. There's an FAQ there. So if you want like a few basic burning questions answered, you can find all of the information you need. But I want to let you know that some of you might be wondering if we're putting a cap on the number of people who can enroll in this course, because we've done that we do that with the PPV when we enroll for that. I kind of debated doing that, but decided because this is a brand new course not to. And
we don't want to exclude people the first time around because this is a brand new thing and we know you guys might be excited.
However, Kristen and I are running this ourselves as of yet, and I don't plan to unless it gets crazy. We don't have help. So we're going to be like reading and responding to everyone's questions and comments in the forum, which could be a lot if we get a lot of people. So there's a chance if we get too many people, I might be like, I can't handle this many more people.
We might have to cap it midway if it just goes insane. We hope we don't have to do that because we want to let as many people in as we can.
If we do, if that happens, I would hope we could just find help instead of cap it.
Yeah, but just sign up early just in case we get out of control.
There's a 1 payment option and a 2 payment option.
It is a little bit more for the 2 payment option.
Right.
So you'll just save a little bit of money if you do it up front, but you do have choices. So if you want to do it, they're 1 month apart.
And really important point, there is a $50 discount code that is good until this Friday. So if you enroll kind of in the first week, we're giving you a $50 discount, but you got to get on the VIP list if you're not already to get it. So link for that is in the episode description. We'll email you the code and it's good through this Friday, the 23rd. Enrollment will be open until Tuesday, the 27th, so a week from today.
And then the course actually starts on Wednesday, the 28th.
Yes.
But you will have some content to be working on in the meantime. We have a 20-minute introductory video already waiting for you.
And multiple workbook assignments, including taking a personality assessment. We're going to talk more about that at the end because we're doing a whole series.
Yep.
And a whole podcast series on it. And I'm really excited about that. So there's plenty of work for you to be doing. All of you people-pleasing, perfectionist, nerds who love homework. Because, I love homework.
Oh, yeah.
But there's definitely there's a school nerd vibe among a lot of these people.
Going back to school time. So this is kind of perfect.
That's kind of why I like doing it at this time. There's a definite, getting your fall outfits together, getting back to school vibe.
I mean, you can put on your fall outfits to watch our videos in the course
if you really want to. Okay.
And it's a 4-week program, so you'll get a new lesson every week.
Once a week.
And then at the end, after the 4th lesson has been released, the following week, we're going to have a live virtual hangout where you can ask us your questions. We can just kind of celebrate our successes out of the program.
I'm sure Kristen and I will have plenty of other points we want to share by that point.
And we know that you're probably going to want to share some of your challenges and achievements throughout it because we're going to have you do a lot of stuff.
So, okay. The title of this episode is The One Thing We Won't Be Talking About in Getting Over People Pleasing. And I wanted to this isn't going to be an episode. This isn't going to be that long of a conversation. But I wanted to talk about this because I think a lot of people are going to be wondering, even if they're not wondering it now, once they start working through the content in the course, they're going to be wondering, oh, do I need to be focusing on this or what's happening here? So the one thing we're really not going to be focusing on hardcore, focusing on it a little bit, but hardcore in the course is who am I on the very deepest levels and what do I want as a person?
And the reason why that's an important aspect of this that we just can't get into that on an individual basis with every single person.
No.
But a lot of people pleasers do struggle with that because they have been so focused on what other people want and aligning their interests and their preferences with other people's that they have lost sight of who am I without people pleasing?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want when I'm not constantly worrying about what everyone else wants for me and from me? And we do get into that to a point. We have you start digging into that a bit, but you have to imagine we have a lot of people in this course. This is a pretty personal thing to figure out, who am I at my core?
Yeah.
This is really what we do in one-on-one coaching when you get a personalized experience with us. So we're not going to be able to get into that on the deepest levels in this course, but we are going to help you do the first step, which is you got to stop people pleasing first before you can even figure out who I am at my core. What do I want in absence of people pleasing?
People pleasing is a lot of things. It's a crutch, it's noise, and all of that just means that you haven't had to have a personality to a degree because you've been so focused on other people. You've been so focused on being who you think you need to be in order to be liked, loved, and accepted. So yeah, a lot of people, when they start letting go of those crutches and that noise, are uncomfortable with the space that then happens. And the like, oh crap, I'm having an identity crisis that kind of ensues. And that would be normal if that happens to you. And I don't want you to panic if that starts happening. We will absolutely, if you are panicking, we will guide you through that if you're in the course. And that is exactly, in my mind, what should be happening. You should be kind of getting to the point where you're questioning, okay, who am I now that I don't have to do this anymore?
It's scary, but it's also really exciting.
It's liberating.
And freeing.
Yeah.
To be able to have the space to explore who you are when you're not fretting all of the time about how everyone is interpreting you. And so we want you to get to that place that's a little bit scary, a little bit on the edge, but also really exciting. And that's something that we can help you with on a more individual basis afterward if you're really struggling with that. But we are going to start you along that process of figuring that out in the course. There's just a lot of deeper depths to get to.
And it's not that we're glossing over that. It's that we're going very deep into other things that you have to address first. So we spend a lot of time in the first lesson talking about your childhood stuff. Like
where people pleasing
the inception point.
Got instilled in you.
And then going back and really like working through that, which is an intense emotional process and really cathartic, I think, and really necessary. But there is just a limit to what one can do in 4 weeks with a group.
We also help you completely have a new perspective on your relationships and what the point of your life is. I mean, we get into some really deep stuff even before we get into the really heavy action-oriented phases, which is the second half of the course. So there's a lot. And to me, this is what you have to do first. And then figuring out who you are once people-pleasing is no longer your default response.
That's the next
That's phase 2.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, a lot of you have already done. Some of you are doing this in reverse.
Yes, that's very true.
Some of you have worked with us before in the PBVE, in the PBSC, in coaching. A lot of you have. And a lot of you are coming and doing this because you're like, Marina, you're like, I just really love this stuff and I could use a little accountability. Some of you are brand new and it's fine. It doesn't matter what level of expert or beginner you're at when it comes to personal development. It's just if you're more at the beginner phase, this is going to be like a phase 1 for you. And it's going to be a great phase 1. It's going to be an excellent foundation for you. And then you're going to have all this freedom and space to consider, who do I want to be now? And what do I want on an even deeper, more personal level? Which is an excellent question for you to be asking. And on that note, we got an email that I thought was really intriguing and that I thought we should answer because it relates to this. Mm-hmm. Do you want to read the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Rachel. I'm really intrigued by the sound of your new course, and a big part of me wants to join you guys for it. But I'm having a slightly shameful reaction. I think I'm scared of the idea of letting go of my people-pleasing ways. You'd think it would be a no-brainer to want to be rid of it because it's held me back so much in life, but part of me is still attached to it. What would you say to someone in my position? Thank you, Isabel. Oh, Isabel, I have things to say. If you are like me, then part of your fear of letting go of your people-pleasing ways might be, well, what if that means that I'm no longer likable? Or what if that means that I have to be mean to people or be overly direct, or I have to be someone I'm not? Because in your mind, you're taking it to this other extreme.
Yeah.
If I was so nice and accommodating and helpful, now I got to be a bitch. And I don't know if I want to be. That doesn't feel right either. That is not what we're talking about here. You can be someone who is not a people pleaser and is still very likable. You can even be someone who is in some ways kind of adaptable, but has very clear lines of what your boundaries are. Mm-hmm. That's getting rid of people pleasing, but not becoming a totally different person from who you are. So I don't want you to think that you have to become this hardened, mean, overly direct person.
Aggressive
person.
You don't have to become me, for God's sake.
Because you're not a people pleaser anymore.
No.
That's not the goal.
No. There's not two options here.
I also think you're probably afraid of disappointing people, which is why you're afraid to let go.
I'm sure she would admit that's the truth.
Yes. I've referenced this before, but we had someone a long time ago in one of our courses ask us, can I stop people pleasing without disappointing people?
Actually, I think what she asked was, how can I disappoint someone without really disappointing
letting them down?
I mean, it was that blunt. It was just that direct. Yeah. And yeah, of course, there's a little bit of that going on. And she knows that. I mean, that's why she's a little bit ashamed of this fear. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, because I think a lot of people feel that way, whether or not they're conscious of it or they're admitting it. This isn't just a people-pleasing thing. This is just a transformation thing. People get scared to let go of their patterns and their crutches and their blocks, even when they don't like them.
Because they're familiar.
They're familiar. It's comfortable. And, there is an argument for the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And that's a huge part of why you're scared, is because you don't know who you're going to be when you're not a people pleaser, and you're afraid of uncertainty. It's not even, it could be that you're afraid of becoming like a stone cold bitch, but it's more likely that your inner critic and just your deepest kind of instinctual brain is wanting to shut down the idea of change, because change equals uncertainty, and uncertainty in your most lizard brain mind equals death. And so your brain is just trying to shut down this change to keep you safe. And that's normal. Brains do that, like with everything.
And we address that in the course. We have you look at the fears of making these changes and then come back and actually record what happens versus what you thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
So we have entire sections of the workbook where you get to work through those fears in real time with other people who are doing the same thing. And we also are not pushing you too far too fast. We're pushing you. We're gently nudging you, maybe a little bit more than gently, but we're not throwing you off the side of the cliff and saying, I hope you make it. So don't feel like this is going to have to be going from 0 to 60 in like 0.5 seconds.
No, you can go at your own pace.
We walk you through this.
The other day, one of my friends who I started out coaching her 5 years ago. She got trained as a coach. We became really great friends, and we text like every day. And she comes to me when she needs, just like most people I know, most of my friends, they come to me when they need to ask advice about how to call someone out or how to like be direct about something. And she wanted to call someone out about the fact that she wasn't getting a service that she was paying for, and it wasn't on time. And I crafted it for her, and I had Kristen read it. Kristen was like, I would have no problem sending it.
Yeah, it was very nice. Now,
and it made my friend sweat. She was like, I cannot do that. It is too, and I'm telling you, it was nice. It was just direct, but it was nice. So I'm telling you, I didn't force her to send that text. I was like, if you want to work your way up to sending what I think is the most bland, nice text, that's fine. Like, we're not judging you. And so we're not going to force you to do anything that makes you literally throw up.
No,
like, we're not going to make you do that.
We have you come up with some things that are going to be a little easier for you to do, a little bit more of a stretch for you to do. And your stretch might be someone else's easy thing, and that's fine. You get to tailor this program based on where you're at right now.
What you think you can handle.
And you might go back through it again later and realize I can stretch myself a little further this time.
Well, isn't that the way of the world? Isn't that like how the physical body works too? Is you go to yoga for the first month and you're not stretching very hard or, far. You're not doing splits and handstands if you're new, but you do it for a long time and you can stretch further and further. You get more limber. And that's very much what this is going to help you do. It's limber up. And may I say that if you're afraid of not being likable, like you're afraid that the people in your life might not like the new version of you, I got to say two things. One, the people who are meant to stick around will be pleased at the developments that they see in you.
Yeah, the right people will like you more.
They will like you more. They will find you
for
more
being
interesting,
more yourself,
more likable. They'll be like, "Oh my God, thank God! I've been wanting you to speak up for so long. What took you so long?" And the people who liked you for who you were pretending to be, or the people who liked you because you were bland, or
they just liked you because you went along with whatever they said.
They might not like it. I got to be honest. And yes, you might ruffle a few feathers. You might potentially cause some distance or even lose relationships when you find out that they liked you for the wrong reasons. And that could hurt. And I think that you'll be resilient enough to handle it because you'll see that being the person who's not held hostage by the need to please, it means you can handle it when people don't like you or when they don't want to be around you because you're a better version of yourself. You're not going to feel as bad about it right then as you are thinking about that possibility today.
I got to tell you, as someone who was an extreme people pleaser and who has let go of a lot of it, my relationships now are a million times more deeper and more connected. And I feel like I have my people, like my lifelong people in a way I never felt before because they actually see me for me. So it is worth it. I promise you it's worth getting over this. Even if some people leave, those people were not going to stick around that long anyway.
Or they would have had you just continued to be someone that you're really not. And that's
resentment
depressing.
would build and build and build.
And that's depressing. I can't imagine wanting to be around someone who only wants me for who I'm not. That's no way to live life.
No.
So I hope that answers some of your question and calms a little bit of your fears, Isabel. And you know what? It's okay if your fears aren't calmed because no one is going to go into any new big transformative experience with no fear. You're supposed to have fear. It's not a big deal.
I want you to think about signing up for this program like signing up for a personal trainer. It's not going to be easy every moment.
No, it's going to be hard.
There's going to be times when you're like, I don't even like my personal trainer right now. They're making me run and I hate it. But you also know that you're going to feel a lot better because of the work that you're doing.
Yeah, even though that work is going to be a little bit challenging and you might sweat and shake and feel like you can't do it, but you will do it. That's what we're doing here, just in an emotional way.
Yes.
So we do have one assignment that's physical. I'm not going to tell you what it is. we do, though.
But yeah, think of us as your emotional personal trainers for the next month.
Yeah. And Kristen will be the nice one. And
we got a good cop, bad cop thing going on.
I'll be the bad cop. And I sell myself up as a bad cop a lot more than I actually am. But I have a reputation to uphold. You know what I mean? Which leads me perfectly into our next, or teasing our next episode on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So
first of two.
We are going to have a 2-part bonus book club series on the book, The Wisdom of the Enneagram. And if you guys don't know what the Enneagram is, it is a personality assessment. It is not to be super dramatic, but I think it might be like the holy grail of personality assessments.
You're thinking that because of the impact that it has on coaching and like
well, it has an impact. It's had a huge impact on me personally and in my work.
On the deep self-awareness and the personal growth that you have the potential to step into. It is the most transformative for that, which to me is what really matters the most.
I've explored multiple assessments at this point.
And I found a lot of them very helpful.
But I still think this one takes the cake.
There's
So-
not been an assessment that I have had such a strong emotional reaction to as this one.
Never.
That's for sure.
Never have
That's
I
for
felt
sure.
so called out.
Uh-huh.
And I can't wait for you guys to hear this because the Enneagram is so unlike other personality assessments in that it is not supposed to make you feel good. It is supposed to make you feel a little bit icky, not in like a I'm ashamed of myself way, but in a, oh my God, they just stripped me naked and like I am bared to the world here. They understand my inner workings in a way that I didn't even realize was possible to understand. So it's a little bit uncomfortable to be that exposed, but so equally like cool to be seen in such a deep way and then have someone understand your problems and your issues and your deepest kind of fears in a way.
And realize you're not that weird.
You're not really that weird. Yeah, when I took it, I was like, oh my God, everything that I thought was weird about me is literally just being a type 4, apparently. Wow. So if you guys want to take the Enneagram before we do our 2-part series, that would be really cool because it's actually one of the first assignments we give people in getting over people pleasing, first of all. So all of those people are going to be taking it this week and hopefully sharing their type with us in the forum. And we're going to try to map out some patterns and see if...
We have theories about people pleasing and the Enneagram.
I think there's some very clear type patterns when it comes to that. But if you want to take it before we start debriefing it, you're going to get even more out of the series. So we're going to leave links in the show notes to both a free version of the Enneagram and a paid version. The Enneagram is not owned by any specific entity. So there's no right or wrong way or place to take it, but we've taken it at both of these places. So at least we can say these are pretty good versions. The paid version is $12. I think it's more accurate than the free version, as you might imagine.
And it's really not overly expensive.
I mean, $12 is not going to break your bank, I don't think. So it's 144 questions, though. Or I mean, at least the paid version is. But the other version was pretty long, too. So give yourself some time if you want to take it. Don't just like whip it out on your phone and try to casually do it. You got to like sit down.
You got to commit.
And then you got to really read your result because you're going to get so much out of it if you don't just gloss over it. But if you want to take it in preparation, give you a little bit of homework in preparation for Friday, come back and you're going to get
more than you even probably wanted. We have so much that we're going to get into over the next 2 Fridays with this.
You're going to get your pants wowed right off.
It's so fascinating.
I mean, you're going to get wowed if you're the type of person who gets wowed at personality assessments.
I think that's our people.
I think you're that person. I do. Or else you wouldn't still be listening to this.
No, probably
by
not.
now.
So we'll see you guys on Friday for that. And I hope that we see some of you in getting over people pleasing now that it's open.
Yep. You got 1 week and you only got until Friday if you want to get $50 off. So again, join the VIP list in the episode description and we will email you a code for $50 off the course.
All right. See you in there.
Bye.